So just a little bit of an update. As most people know, uh, when I got into a difficult spot in New Zealand and I hit the SOS button, it didn't work as planned, and that that message never actually went out for a long time. And then eventually, when it did go out, it went out without my coordinations, and the international rescue coordination team never sent out a rescue helicopter for me at that point. And I sort of didn't really know what was to blame there, and I wasn't trying to blame anyone anyway. It's my own fault for going into that section, but the SOS didn't work as planned, and it's something that we pay for, and it's something that we sort of nearly put our lives in the hands of when we go into a lot of these places. Emergencies happen every day, and we take that device as a safety implement, and when it doesn't work as planned, then it's definitely concerning. And anyway, the good people at Garmin, who I'm not affiliated with Garmin at all, but the good people at Garmin reached out to me, and we had a lengthy conversation with the USA Garmin, Australia Garmin, and the New Zealand Garmin, and we had a big discussion and just asking lots of questions and getting lots of answers, and yeah, we sort of got to the bottom of a few things. So when I was in New Zealand, actually, this started when I was in the backcountry of British Columbia, and I went into camp and I had the Inreach Mini, and all the guides were saying that the Mini has delayed messages. It's not as good, and those guys were all going to revert back to the full size Garmin Inreach. And I plan to do the same. I've got the full size Garmin Inreach, and I've also got a bunch of the little ones. I use them at work as well. I give the guys at work the Inreach Minis for whenever they're on remote jobs. Anyway, that raised a few concerns that maybe the Mini is not as powerful as the bigger one, and that's not the case at all. They've both got the same signal strength. I confirmed this with Garmin. Both of those devices work the same. The bigger one's got a better battery life. I think they said 120 hours. Actually, don't quote me on 120 hours. Might have been 12 hours. And the little one's got 9. I'll have to definitely find that information out, correct that anyway. But yeah, so I wanted to go to the full size one. On my New Zealand trip, I took the Mini because I was just trying to save weight wherever I could. I was basically walking 4 or 5 days in, and I was going to have the same amount of walking out. Possibly either way, there was hiking every day, so I wanted to cut down on weight. But as I said, Garmin confirmed that that's not the case at all. Those devices work exactly the same. They've got the same signal strength. With the GPS messaging needs 3 satellites, to pick up where you are and to work quickly and efficiently. And with the Mini, I do notice that sometimes when you send out a text message, we're not talking about the SOS right now, we're just talking about text, it'll be absolutely immediate, like it just goes straight out pretty much. Then other times it will take, there's a delay in messages coming back. Well, that's going to happen with all of them, especially in that mountainous country where the window to the sky is not as big because you're in such deep gorges and things like that there is a delay in messaging. And the SOS is very much the same. It works off the operation that I use works off an Iridium satellite, and it only needs one satellite to get that SOS message out. So it was good that Garmin did come back and they did confirm that no, they looked right into it. They did an investigation, and the Inreach Mini it was working fine. It was just the communication with the satellites. It wasn't clear because of the mountains or whatnot, and obviously it was cloudy and rainy, so it's a little bit hard for sight as well. But when I did hit that SOS. They did confirm that there was human error involved from the rescue coordinations end of things, which that's sort of good to hear. That that there was human error involved. It wasn't actually the unit itself, and it wasn't how things are supposed to go with them. It didn't go as planned. It didn't go as they would usually operate. And one individual who got the message didn't act on it correctly. So I hit the button. It took quite some time for that SOS to even go through. It just kept saying SOS in progress, SOS in progress. And in that time, the delayed messages that I'd sent out to a friend of mine had gone through to him, and he basically said, you need to hit the SOS button, because they haven't received it yet. And so I went to press the SOS button again, and it doesn't allow you to hit it again. It's simply that SOS is in progress and it's going out. It doesn't allow you to hit it again. So my reply to him, which was also delayed, was that I did it hours ago. So eventually that SOS went through, did transfer through. My friend went back to him to say that he has pressed it and it hasn't worked. He sent him my coordinations because he'd got those in a message, but they still wouldn't act on it without the coordinations coming from my device itself, because when the SOS eventually did go through to the coordination center, the coordinations never went through with it. So, that was a bit shit. So eventually the coordinations did come through, and that gentleman at the the rescue coordination center did have my coordinations, and he had them for an hour and 40 minutes and didn't act on them. And as we know, an hour and 40 minutes, every minute counts when you're in a desperate situation like that. I'm just glad there wasn't more wrong with me that hour and 40 minutes did cost me my life or something like that. So anyway, long story short, after speaking with the Garmin people, because they were definitely a bit shitty that it hadn't gone the plan, and they've said that they've done thousands of rescues and this has never happened, which I definitely hope that's the case. I sort of wonder how many that you don't hear about that didn't go to plan or how they were supposed to. But I've got to put some faith in that company, and they're doing the right thing, and they have investigated it and gone the great lengths to make sure this never happens again. They also said that, so the gentleman that got my coordinations and took my SOS that didn't act on it as per company procedure, they've given him time off work, or sacked him, or who knows. I don't know. I don't really want to see the guy sacked. I just think he needs better training and things like that. I don't want to see anyone out of a job. We all make mistakes, but the International Rescue Coordination has put all their employees now through this is what I've been told, they put all their employees through new training to make sure this doesn't happen, and they've really tightened up on their procedures of how things happen, and they've acted upon this. They've taken it as they've been proactive now, and they're jumping on top of everything and making sure this never happens again. And Garmin was very helpful in ensuring that this won't happen again, and they let me know all the training that's been involved going forward. So that was really good. There's a couple of things that they're changing as well, because like I said, a friend had the coordinations, and even if they didn't get those coordinations, they can look back on messages, whatever messages you've been sending out. Every time you send a message on one of these GPS messages, it gives the coordinations where you sent the message from. So when I hit that SOS, they should have just looked back on the messages, seen where the last place that I sent a message from, and they should have sent out a helicopter to come and look for me. And simply those messages would have showed me coming down that god awful creek to a certain point, and they would have just had to fly that creek to find me. And then the fact that they did have the coordinations and with the SOS in progress for an hour and 40 minutes is, obviously that's unacceptable. But I just want to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else, because I think a lot of us, we don't rely on that SOS, but it's comforting that you've got it on you. If it comes to shit, that, if you find yourself in a life-threatening situation, that you do have a line of defense in hitting that button, and someone's, they're going to come out and rescue you. And we pay for that. That's a subscription. That's something that you pay for. You pay for the device and you pay for the activation. It's something that we pay for. Anyway, it's been really good to hear from those guys, and just, reassuring that this isn't how it usually goes down. This isn't the procedure and how it happens. I should have got messages back through that unit. I shouldn't have got a message through an email, and I shouldn't have got a phone call to my mobile, because obviously if you've got an Inreach on you, like an emergency GPS device like that, the reason you've got a GPS device, that works off satellite, is because nothing else works up in those mountains or wherever you are, desert, friggin' the jungle, wherever you are. So that wasn't the right procedure to take, and generally they would give you a message back saying, we've received your SOS message, help is on the way, the weather's bad so they can't pick you up till the morning, so at least you start preparing that you're going to stay there overnight, or it's 2 hours away, or they're 20 minutes away, whatever it is. And that never happened. And so what actually happened there, for anyone that doesn't know, I hit the SOS button. It never went through, but a friend of mine got it as well, because that SOS message goes to 3 people: the International Emergency Coordination Center, and 2 people of your choice. So mine was my best friend, and the other one was my wife, Kim. And Kim never got the message at all. My good friend got the message. So when he got the message, he was like, shit, this isn't a guy that asked for help on anything, which I don't. Even if I'm lifting something heavy, I won't ask for help. I just do things myself. It's just the way that I was not brought up, but it's the way that I've just lived my life, as a young fella with no sort of father figure in his life. I just learned to do things myself, and it's set me on a path that I don't ask for help. I just simply don't. And I've been in shitty situations before, like really shitty situations, and I haven't had to hit the SOS button before I get my way out of it. And I finally found myself in a position where I'm like, no, you're in trouble. You're fucked, basically. And to hit that button, obviously my best friend knew that it was a big deal and that something was going down. And when the International Emergency Coordination Center wouldn't send out a helicopter and didn't send out a helicopter or rescue, my best friend rallied with a local guy, and that local guy made contact with the Westpac helicopter, and they come out and they end up rescuing me. They weren't even part of my SOS. So very thankful for those people. And I'll finish up this video now and just say massive thanks to all the well wishers, massive thanks to the rescue team that come out and got me, and a big thanks to Garmin and the International Rescue Coordination Center for now being active and sorting this out and discussing it with me and just not ignoring it. They want to be the best they can be, and we've found a little flaw in the system, and now they're going to iron that out. So yeah, that's really cool. And if you do get a chance, whatever it is, go and give to one of the rescue teams, you know, whether it's I really like the Westpac one. They seem to do a really good job, and they constantly need funding. It costs about $5,000 per rescue, and on general they do 3 a day. So if you've got some money, go and give. It's a good charity, and you'll be saving someone's life. I guarantee you. Maybe it was mine already. But yeah, righto. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that clears up a bit of stuff.